It's a 4 in the morning start. Matt and Bonnie are bringing up the anchor. We've got our route set. And you can't see a thing.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5:45 a.m. Still dark. We got up at 3:45 this morning for a 4 o'clock departure, beginning our journey towards Panama. Not a lot to see out the front window so far because it's still dark, but we've been surrounded by lightning off in the distance this morning, so I thought I'd try and catch it. Here's a view out. The night vision camera helps. We can kind of see that there's water in front of us.
Well, it's 6:35. Sun hasn't quite come up yet. We are getting a bit of rain. You can see it on the radar there. And on the cameras facing back, you can see that.
Our autopilot's been driving us on attempting to drive us on a straight line for the last 4 hours, and our weather predictions are telling us that these are 5-foot waves every 6 seconds, and yeah, we might believe it. We hope so, because the boat's handling it well. So we're getting ready in the next few minutes to make a pretty hard turn to our port and make our way through a shallow channel on the Great Bahama Bank in front of us here. So we're a little concerned about what the ride's going to be like, and the waves when we make that turn probably a lot wetter than this. So we'll let you know. Here goes the turn. It's a fast one. Probably a good thing.
Yep.
Oh, now they're almost beam on.
Yes, they are.
So instead of coming from behind us, now they're coming almost straight from our side, just a little bit in front of us. Not too wet so far. We're going from 2,000 feet coming up onto this bank, and it'll be around 20 feet deep as we pass over the shallow Blossom Passage, I think it's called. Should have covered the dinghy today. Gonna need a bath.
The waves continued to build throughout that day, and more importantly turned directions so that they were coming right on our bow. So we were smashing into them, and the boat was pretty uncomfortable. None of us were able to get any good rest when we were off shift, so we made the decision to find a spot to anchor up and wait until the weather improved.
Yep.
Here's a chart showing where we started and where we ditched out that night. Our start time was dictated by the tide, so we'd have as much water as possible under us at Blossom Passage.
We are just getting going. When we left from the Exumas on our way to Panama, our intent was to go straight through, hopefully. Our first day was rougher than we planned and took us a lot longer than planned, because once we made the turn and had the waves on our bow, we were crashing them into them the entire rest of that day. and we ended up having a lot of water over the bow. It was fun. We got a lot of great pictures for about an hour or two, and then it was just getting through it the rest of the day. It ended up taking us, we had to slow down to 4 knots for a lot of it, 6 knots if we were lucky. And then we ended up choosing to stop at the Ragged Islands and anchor up, and it took us 24 hours to get there. So we left the Exumas at 4 a.m. and anchored behind Nurse Key in the Ragged Islands at 4 a.m. and crashed and went to sleep. And we've been here the last day and a half recovering and waiting for the weather to improve. So now Sunday morning, 9:30, we're heading out to Matthewtown, where we need to stop and check out of customs to get our ZARP-A papers so that Panama will let us in. So this will be another 24-hour run. We're at Hop Key right now, which is on the Ragged Islands. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for that detail, hun.
Yep.
Hop Key is where we were last night. So we're expecting it to be a little rough again on this passage. We're gonna see how it goes getting to Matthewtown, and if things look good after that, we'll keep going. If not, we'll hang at Matthewtown until we have a better window. See you later.
Bye.
It was pretty rough leaving Matthewtown and stayed that way for most of the run. Fortunately, it did improve in the morning as we approached Matthewtown.
Here we are arriving at Matthewtown. That great Inagua. I'm not sure how to pronounce the island name. I need to work on that. And this is where we will check out of customs, leaving the Bahamas. And Kevin is in there, behind all the salt on the window.
After a brief 2-hour visit to Matthewtown, we headed on. We had perfect weather, so we began making our way toward the Windward Passage, where we passed between Haiti on our port side and Cuba on our starboard. There's the route that we plan to take. We had about a 4.5 day good weather window for a 5-day journey. So we made the decision to increase our speed and try to get as far as possible before the weather picked up again. We settled into our shift schedules and began ticking off the days.
Dolphin sighting. So fun when they come to surf with the boat. They're running right in front of us, playing with the water that we're pushing along.
For the last couple of days of the journey, the waves were primarily coming from behind us, following seas. So it was much more comfortable. They would gently lift the stern and roll right past us. On the morning of our 5th day, we approached Cologne Harbor after getting permission to enter the breakwater. We got docked up at our marina and enjoyed a celebratory safe landing lunch at the marina restaurant. Till next time, take care.